Boise, Idaho does not work in Conyers, Georgia. Our federal representatives have got to roll up their sleeves and work with the state and local representatives, the people who are working for our children and the education. We need to be holding meetings, finding out what programs, so that we really don't leave the child behind, because if we do, we create a higher social burden. Our children are our future. We can't spend their future, and we have to give them the opportunities that we have been afforded. And that, as of late, has changed, and that has to change. In addition, I know I touched lightly on health control, what's going on. This bill has got to be changed. We need tort reform. We need to cut out the fraud that's in the current system. But more importantly, let me ask you, how does any congressional leader believe that someone who cannot afford health insurance today is going to be able to pay health insurance premium of $200 or $300, which it will cost, from the government? A tax credit in April does not pay the bills that are due in November. I know this is a lot, and I'm going to wrap this up, but my last point is the entitlement programs that are being created. If people will stop and realize what they are doing, entitlement programs are meant to suppress those that they serve. With a very good friend of mine who's a Democrat. I think we're still friends. And he said to me finally, after he got very upset because he couldn't argue against what I was saying, so he finally blew his top and he said, Liz, we don't want those people to have opportunity. Keep them where they're at. Do just enough. And that is exactly what these programs do. They do just enough so people believe they're being helped, and it takes away the initiative and the drive and the opportunity for them to advance in society. That has got to end. It's prosperity for all the people, not just the ones up here. So as you all know, I need your support more than ever. This system is not set up for the average American to be able to win an election. I am not going to quit, and I will work harder than any other candidate that you have ever met, because I love this country, and I love Georgia, and I love my family. And so I am asking you for your support and your help. This is the year that we change, and we stand up together and say, enough is enough, let's do it right. We're going to go ahead and open it up to 3 questions, so if anyone has a question.
Part of the reason why we have this bubble is the continuing lies that come out of every administration, really starting since John F. Kennedy, on every number that we consider economic, the Consumer Price Index, the GDP, every number that comes out is massaged, and it's quite frankly a lie. Our unemployment rate is not the U3, it's the U6, which is 18%. And that is massaged down from the true number, which is somewhere in the 20s. What would you do about holding honesty coming out of the government? And this from each administration, from the bureaucrats that come up with the numbers. You know, just like we saw President Obama call in the Congressional Budget Office, which was supposed to be bipartisan, not political, call them in and fuss at them to change the numbers on the health control bill. will you call for honesty coming out of these administrations?
Absolutely. We need to be calling out corruption on both sides. We have corruption with the Democrat Party, the Republican Party, and the Independent Party. We have corruption in these cities. More importantly, to answer your question, I talked a little bit about auditing congressional spendings. We need to take a major focus, and I know a lot of people talk about if we have fair tax, we're going to have higher unemployment because of we have a huge IRS department. Take those people, they're analysts, let's focus them on really analyzing true cost and expenditures for the legislation that we create. And the legislation that we create needs to be for exactly what that legislation is supposed to be. I've actually heard some presidents say, well, some of these earmarks are actually a good thing. Well, then write up a bill.
Listening to you, I have a suggestion, a winning election strategy. Schedule all debate forums with Hank. He comes off just above a zombie. So.
I have actually already challenged him. We did a press release this week on the health control bill, challenging him to come forward and open up the discussions. If this is for the people, then why aren't we talking about it with the people? What are they hiding? Absolutely.
Terrific.
What would you do about insisting that legislation be what people can understand instead of a monstrous bill that refers back to this page, that page, and the other? You can't tell them until you run the rabbit.
Oh, it's painful. I actually sat down and read the bill from the House and from the Senate. It's painful. That especially is where I talk about legislation needs to be clear and specific about what it is that it covers. The amount of earmarks and everything else that's in this health control, it just is boggling my mind of all the special interest, the backdoor deals and everything else. It's not about health control. The legislation needs to be very clear and concise, specifically what it is that we're approaching, how much the estimated costs really are, with true analysis. This isn't rocket science. They did it back with John Adams. This is 2010. Let's just be honest and forthright and come forward. I want to really quickly address, a few of you have asked me as well about term limits. We need term limits. You can't go up and spend that amount of time and not become corrupt, unfortunately. And so we do need term limits. And I know you, go ahead.
First of all, I've tried to contact Hank Johnson several times. He's not available, so I hope he will remain available to us. Second of all, there's rumors about representatives getting full retirement after serving one term. Can you confirm or deny that?
Yep, absolutely. What it is congressional leaders are actually, just like all of the other federal employees, they have to serve 5 years to be eligible for a pension. So they don't automatically get full pensions. Then they're eligible for a full pension once they've served for 20 years. And then they get 80% of a 3-year mix and so forth. So it is a rumor and a myth, but I think more importantly, if we get term limits up there, that eliminates a lot of that.